Good afternoon, students. This evening, our lesson is going to be on the recruiting and the acceptation process of the Fort Valley State University Head Start. And today we're going to be talking about how we recruit our children into the program. We have many different ways of recruiting our children, but recruiting first starts with us at our centers. At the end of the school year, we go out into our communities and we put out different signs. We go to businesses, we ask the business people, could we put a sign in their facility saying that we are recruiting kids. And we also go by way of recruiting. We go put signs in business windows saying that we're accepting new kids into the program. And then another way is by word of mouth. We go to our different parents and we say, you know, we noticed that on your application you had a child that would be turning this age when at a new school term. Would you be willing to send this child to back in our program? And so those are some ways in which we do our recruiting. And one of our biggest ways of recruiting is with our partner. We have partnerships within our community. And one of our partners is Family Children's Services. And why do you think we use the Family Children's Services? You all have any idea? Okay, well, let me explain. One reason we use the Family Children's Services because we know that a lot of families are being use the Family Children's Services for different services. So therefore, the Family Children's Services have all the information on the families. They have the ages of children and any other information they could give us on that family, and they would give it to us. So we would ask them, could we leave information packages so that those parents could pick them up when they come in their office if they have a child in our age range. We also use Babies Can't Wait. Okay, I'm going to explain Babies Can't Wait. Babies Can't Wait is a program that assists children that born underweight, children with handicap, children with disability. And they start at birth. These children that Baby Can't Wait start at birth. So if they start at birth, so the people that Babies Can't Wait knows that this child had reached this age. So this child probably can be able to attend the Head Start program. So we'll leave applications there so that those parents can pick up applications for their kids. In another place, it would be the health department, because the health department knows that's one place where the children come in and get their shots and their physicals. So the health department knows, okay, well, this child has turned three, so this child should be able to attend the Head Start program. So we'll leave applications at their offices. And another big thing that plays a big part in it is our churches. How do you think our churches could help with us? Who in the church could help us?
The youth workers.
The youth workers can, but the church announcer. We'll give our information. We'll send a letter to our youth announcer, and our youth announcer could read it out. I mean, our church announcer could read it out as they read their church announcement. Okay, Head Start is recruiting new kids for their upcoming school year. So that's another way that we could that our partners can help us in our communities. Okay, so right now I'm going to stop right here and give you all a card so you can take notes. You can take notes, and because at the end you probably would need to know some of this information to answer our final test. Okay, once the application process gets started, you will get an envelope like this. The parent will get an envelope like this, and on the outside you'll see this sheet, and this sheet would ask for the child's birth certificate. That means the proof of birth, and they'll ask for the child's social security card, and then they'll ask for the Medicaid card, or either the insurance card, or the proof of income, because all of these are very important pieces that we should have before the children get into the program, and this will help assist. And what comes in this big envelope is our application package. And our application package, we first start with application 1. Okay, on application 1, if you would just look over it with me, and I would sort of go over what's in the package with it. We start with the application with our children's name, and we ask for the names, and then we want the social security number, the birthday, and the race, and all that should be filled out. And then we go to the caregiver, that the parent's name, on this sheet, everything should be filled out in orderly. And we ask for emergency contacts because we need to know something what happened to the child while he's at school. We didn't know who to call. And we have a eligibility information. If the child has special needs, and the parent could come down here and they can look at this area and fill out that part. But at the very end, this sheet should be completed all the way. But at the very end, the parent should have their name. We need signature on all of our pages, and we need our pages dated. So this is our first on application 1. If you would flip that over, we'll go to our application 2. Application 2, Mr. Ezra, Miss Renee. Application 2, let me show you. Application 2 talks about about questioning. How much you weigh? How much the child weighed when it was born? Is your child taking medications? And we need to know all these important things. Did your child have measles, chickenpox, and the history of the family history about when was the child? Then when was the child potty trained? And they ask different questions, and then they come down to even a nutrition part. And this is just a simple run through of what we're looking for, of what the parents are filling out when they're doing their application process. Okay, next we have application number 3. Do y'all have any questions so far before we go on? Any questions so far? Okay, this is application 3. Application 3 deals with food. Okay, a lot of kids are allergic to different foods. So we need to know what foods the children are allergic to. And all the time, we ask the parent to get a written doctor's excuse and give it to us, stating what food the children have allergic to. What food is your child allergic to? Because we don't want to give this child this food and this child breaks out or gets sick or have some kind of attack. We don't want to do that. So we need to know what the child is allergic to. And then on down we see medical coverage. We need to know what doctor does the child sees, in case we can't get into with the parent and we need to get the child to see a doctor real quick. What doctor does the child see? And then we got health history. Does the child have any serious injury? What do we have to look for when a child is about to have an outbreak, or what kind of information could you give us to let us know? And this is a very important sheet, because at the end the parent needs to sign and date it. So you make sure that this is signed and dated at the end when the parent complete this form. Okay, and that was the last part of the application 3. And another important part of our recruiting application is attendance. You look at the attendance guideline. We have on this sheet there's like three different forms that have to be signed on one sheet. We have our attendance guideline, then we have our transportation guideline, and then we have our photo guideline. On our transportation guideline, we provide transportation for the bus. But the parents would have to sign a notice saying a consent that my child could ride the bus. If we don't have a sign, this cheap sign that the child could ride the bus, we cannot put that child on the bus, because by law we could be sued or whatever if that child were to get on that bus and something happens. Okay, and then we have our attendance guideline. Even as young kids, these kids have to be at school. We look for these kids to come every day. If they're not sick, well, if they're sick, they don't need to come. But we have rules, and the children have to be in the center by 8:30. And because we don't want the kids just walking in any time of the day, because this is an educational program. We want everybody to get what they need. So we need for all the kids to be there at 8:30, and then the children go home at 2:30. And if they ride the bus, they might leave a little later. And like I said, at the bottom, they have to sign this form at the bottom saying that they're going to follow our guideline. They're going to have these kids to school on time. Sometimes something might come up, and they might be a little late, and they might come up. They might have doctor's excuse. My child had to go to the doctor this morning, or something like that. But we really like to see the kids coming in on time so that everybody could get what they need. Okay, then we have photo thing down the bottom right here. We cannot just let anybody come up into the center and take children's pictures. The parents have to agree. Like if we have a newspaper, we have people from the media, a newspaper, and this thing is signed. If the parents sign it, they don't want their child to take pictures, we can't let them take pictures with the media or any news people. We can't do that. So we have to be mindful of that. The parent have to have that sign at the bottom. Okay, students, do y'all have any questions as we move on? Any questions? No, okay, thank you. Okay. In our next form that we have is a parent questionnaire. I want you to take a brief look at the parent questionnaire. Just take a brief look right quick and at the parent questionnaire. Okay. Why do we have a parent questionnaire? Because we want to know if the parent have any interest, personal interests of their own. Because we work with different types of parents, and a lot of our parents are from low income families. First, we ask our parent about the education. Do you have a high school diploma? Would you like to get your GED? We have programs set up so that those parents can get their GED. Or we can send them out to different areas where we know that the GED is being taught. GED classes are being taught. Workshops. We have workshops. If parents need to go to different workshops. Well, we're having a cooking workshop today. Would you like to participate in the cooking workshop? And so forth. And then we have our health and nutrition. Health and nutrition. We talk about in health. We talk about first aid, drug abuse. We have these type of programs that help our parents who are dealing with different substance abuse that really needs help. So we have we offer those programs. And then we have social services, teaching the parents how to use the computer, how to fill out a job application, and if they want leadership skill, how to get that leadership skill. And then, on this curriculum survey, we have a curriculum survey at the bottom. If you look down the bottom, where the skills are, and we ask our parents, what do you want your children to know while they're in our program? And we have this little list, and the parent would like jot out what they want their child to learn. Okay, and on this sheet we got like they want the kids to follow directions. They want the kids to learn how to share, solve problems, write their names and letters, use a computer, or even just learn how to participate in a group. And what topics, on the other side of topic, what topics would you think you would be interested in for your children? And someone might say, well, I want them to learn, if you could help them with the body parts, or season. They want to learn the different seasons of the year, shapes and numbers, just history, so, things about history, Black history, other types of history, recognizing words, recognizing rhymes, community helpers, people that help in the community. Could you bring the fire truck in? Could you bring the policemen in so they can meet the people that work in the community? And these are some of the things that we put in our package when we're trying to recruit and get our kids into our program. Okay, so do anybody have any questions about recruiting? Okay, I'm hoping that you all taking good notes, because right now we're gonna look at our PowerPoint. Let's take a look at our PowerPoint and go over some of the things that we've already talked about. Okay, the recruiting, acceptation, and process for the Fort Valley State University Head Start. Okay, our lesson objectives: to become familiar with each form of the application package the student will use when recruiting and accepting children into the Fort Valley State University Head Start program. At first, we talked about our application process, and we said, what do we say about our application? What do we say about the application? Should we leave anything blank on the application? No, we shouldn't leave anything blank on the application. Before we turn anything in, we got to make sure that everything, the application is completed. Okay, we talked about our home assessment, our family surveys, our family needs assessment. We went over that. Okay, our medical history. We need to know what the children allergies is, and if the children have any health problems. A shot record. The children need to have a shot record, because the state even say that the children can't come to school unless they have a shot record or immunization, the immunization updated. And then we also have our dental record. Our dental record. In the dental record now, if we'll look at our dental record, and we have a child that hadn't been to the dentist, our program will take kids to the dentist if they hadn't been to the dentist. So we do take kids to the dentist. Okay, speech. All children that comes into the program must have a speech training. And one thing about our speech training is that speech teachers are like, they work like regular teachers. So that the children may not be able to get their speech training until the school year starts. Now sometimes she'll come a week early and she'll get a good many kids. But then as the school year starts, she'll work the rest of them in. Transportation. We talked about our transportation. We talked about our buses. And one thing we said about our buses was that if the children don't have a consent sign from their parents, they can't ride the bus. Whether it's field trips, down the block, they cannot get on the bus if they don't have a consent form from their parents stating that they can ride the bus. That's one way of transportation. And another way of transportation is their own family car. The family could bring them. So the family could bring them to school. Okay, mental health. Mental health referrals. Mental health is dealt with referrals only. And a lot of times we find out about our kids if they need mental health is when we go do our home visit. And home visit is a part of our application process. We go and we do a home visit on the kids, and a lot of times the children are at home, and if we see that the way they are reacting, sometimes we can pick it up, but sometimes we have to wait a little while into the school year to see how the children react before we do a referral on them. WIC. WIC, WIC. WIC stands for Women, Infants, and Children. And the WIC program is something that we do in our program. We have a registered nurse to come out and prick our children's fingers so they can get their iron and hemoglobin. And that's to make sure that the children have the iron level and stuff is on the right path. Okay, and then after they check the kids and see if they need any iron, they will like maybe give them WIC vouchers so they can get milk, cereals, fruit, and whatever it takes to bring that iron level up in the kids. Okay, that ends our PowerPoint. Okay, so we talked about our application process, our recruiting process. So now I'm going to give you a little exam. We'll answer our questions. We'll answer our questions right quick. Can I have your papers? Your papers, please. I'm going to give you a few minutes to answer your questions. Thank you. Answer your questions and we'll go over them, and then we'll do exception letter. And this is our pre-test. And we got a few minutes to work on that. And when you get finished, just flip it over and I'll know that you're finished. This should take about a few minutes, so I'm gonna give you a few minutes to work on that right quick. Don't worry about the bells, just keep going. If you finish, you can turn your paper over. When you finish, you can turn your papers over so that I would know that you're ready when you finish. Okay, is everybody ready? Finished?
Mhm.
Okay, ready to flip your papers over? And now let's go over our pre-test. Um, Tamika, would you read loud and clear our first question?
What are the age group of the student being recruited?
What are the age groups?
3 to 5 years old.
Thank you, that's correct. Mr. Ezra, could you read the second one loud and clear?
What is the income guideline? One person, 12,060.
Mm-hmm.
Four is 24,600.
Okay, yes, and then the income continue to go as the number in the family goes up. The wages continue to go up. Tamika, could you read the next question?
What are the qualifications of the program? Low income family with 10% over income.
Okay, you said low income families. Then we take some 10% income, some 10%. But first we're looking for that low income. Then we're taking 10% over the income. 10% of the people over the income. So once we get that low income, and then we have some people that have those applications that over that income, we'll start accepting those people that over the income. But we need that 10% that's over, and that'll be it. Okay, Ezra, could you read the next question for me?
What does the program offer the students? Education,
Mm-hmm.
free lunch,
Yes.
dental visits, week checkups.
Okay, that's good. But then there are a few more that they offer, but that's good right there. Okay, Tamika, could you read the next question?
How will an applicant know that their child has been accepted? By letter and by phone call.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you. Ezra, read number 6 for me.
What does a family survey consist of?
Okay, we saw that family survey. So, what was on that family survey?
Health and nutrition information,
Mm-hmm.
social services,
Yes.
education, and personal development.
Okay, thank you. That's good. Tamika, number 7.
Does each child that is accepted need to have a speech training? Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, number 8, Ezra.
Will transportation be provided to each children? Yes, the bus, and some parents can bring the children and drop them off.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. Okay, number 9.
Why is it important that the parent understands that the child must have their immunization? Because it is required by state that our children that enter the program must be immunized.
Okay, good. Okay, Ezra, could you read that last question for me?
Must all forms be complete before considering acceptation of a child? Yes.
Okay, yes. All the information must be completed in the recruiting process. Okay, since we've been over and we've been over and we know the process of the application. Now it's time for us to practice writing an acceptance letter to the parents. Let's write an acceptance letter. And you can, when you get done, you can put it in the envelope. Your child has been accepted to the program. That's the address we need on the outside of our envelope right here. That's the address we need on the outside of our envelope right here. Put your name and address under there. Okay, so let's wrap this thing up. Okay, how did you all feel about the application process? Did you think our application process is long, or you think anything could have been added to the application, the recruiting application process? Like when I was saying that we go to churches, we collaborate with churches, then we go to the Family Children Services. And then we collaborate with Babies Can't Wait, Health Department, anybody else and then we do our own little recruiting with the signs. You think that about wraps up everybody in the community that work with small kids? Any other organization you all know that work with small kids that we might could help to recruit our kids? That you all have in mind?
Smaller daycare centers.
Okay, some daycare centers. Yes, some daycare centers. That is good. Any other that come to mind? How do you all feel about going out and recruiting now? Do you all think you all could do good at recruiting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What form of recruiting would you like? Passing out flyers or word of mouth? That's what would be your best way of recruiting?
Word of mouth.
Would you like to do
and
word?
flyers.
If you like to do both, just word of mouth and flyers. Is there any other way to recruit besides putting out flyers and word of mouth? Besides what we already talked about, another way that we could get the word out that we're accepting kids.
Social media.
Thank you. Social media is a good way, and why you say that, Tamika? Why do you say social media is a good way?
Because it's the way that we're all connected.
Everybody's connected on social media, so that is a very good way of getting it out on social media. Okay, I think you guys did very well today on our recruiting and accepting kids into our program. And this is our lesson for today. And just remember that we do have another final coming up on how do we recruit and accept our kids in our program. And I thank you all very much.